Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Buck Junkies. We talk about bucks, shooting a few does, whatever it comes up this week. This week's sponsor, Gas X. Let them beans go to popping off at the camp. Get that Gas X, put a muzzle brake on that butthole.
We needed some of that. That pot of beans you did, Mikey.
Man, you ain't kidding. There's a few times I thought I was going to need some dude white.
The Gas X wasn't going to stop that.
We'll talk about deer camp recipes here towards the end of the show. What are we getting into today, Mark?
Man, we're going to talk about all the crap we think we need, we have, the equipment we use, just kind of a broad overview of, everything we have to go hunting.
From beginners to experts,
That's
I guess.
Heck, I still look at myself as a beginner.
I'm a very beginner.
No, but
Jamie, we're going to rely on you and Mikey for the expert.
Luck.
Yeah.
You got to bring the luck.
But no, just kind of cover some of the stuff we use and kind of things we're fond of. I know we all have our lucky pair of socks or lucky pair of overalls, anything like that. But I guess the first thing we're going to do is start off hunting clothes, We hadn't really had to worry too much about clothing this year because it's been 70 degrees. But, man, that's one of my biggest pet peeves. I can't stand getting cold. That's going to get me out of the stand quicker than anything. I get cold.
That's the best thing about them clothes stands.
That's right. Them old box stands.
Yeah. Done spoiled us.
Spoiled us bad. Well, I'm a big guy, so I really got to shop for my big guy camo. I'm a bigcamo.com, man. That's it. I got everything I need, but I'm with you. Like warm season hunting, shoot, I'll wear a pair of jeans to the stand. I've hunted,
I've seen you in pajamas.
It's been warm enough this year to not have to wear Crocs to the deer stand. It really has. But for cold weather stuff, you got to have your pair of insulated overalls of some kind. That's usually what I go with. I think Walls is the brand I have. I don't care if they're camo or not. I just want them warm.
Yeah.
I like the quilted kind with the big legs, zip up, and get your boots on easy. Wear a base layer. Do y'all wear base layers?
Yeah, most of the time. Yeah, I'll wear, long underwear or something like that. What's the new stuff they got now? The slick one, not the old chicken skins.
Yeah, like the Under Armour stuff like that.
The old Under Armour.
Long Johns.
If it's real cold, yeah. I used to, for years, I had them old Long Johns just
Man, them things make your hair on your legs start hurting.
Yeah.
I couldn't wear.
Those things are awful.
My parents made me wear them. We had to wear them to school back in the day.
That when you walked uphill both ways?
He was hunting. Yeah, that was Long Johns. We got a new pair of Long Johns every year for Christmas. One year, I got the old Union suit with the butt flap and everything.
No.
Yeah, Uncle gave it to me. I was going hunting with him. That's probably the first pair of like a base layer or something I really ever had. And I guess he thought it was funny or whatever, but it was the red one, like a red man onesie.
Yeah.
With the flap and then a button fly. And, I wore that thing. It was warm. I know why old folks wore them.
Did you ever use the back buttons?
No, I'd usually come on out
flapper?
of it. I'd usually come on out of it if it came down to it. I didn't never test the flap. I'd just
like
take it on down. Yeah. You take your overalls off, undo them, pull it down on the shoulders to get it all the way on down.
No, I guess I used to always wear overalls. And heck, I guess growing up, that's all Dad'd get me was some old Carhartt overalls or like you said, them Walls. They were good, man, they were good bibs.
Yeah.
But now I've got to where I wear the insulated pants. Just slide them over your blue jeans. They got the insulated insulation. They're waterproof, windproof. And to me, that's more comfortable.
Particular brand or?
No, man, it's.
You got the high dollar one?
No.
What's the high dollar one, Sitkans or whatever?
Yeah, I think so.
I swear, some people swear by them. They don't make them my size, so I ain't wore them.
Need thicker, don't you?
Yeah, I need thicker. Yeah, I need thicker. Big camo, maybe they'll get that.
But
the big sizes.
This year, I've never thought I'd have a thermocell in the box stand with me during the rut. We've been swatting mosquitoes in December.
I got ate alive the other night. We was out watching the duck holes that evening. Yeah. I about got ate up sitting in the truck with you. But it's been rough, man. 70-something degrees. You don't have to worry about staying warm. This is how you stay cool.
Oh, the other day when we went, man, it was when me and Michael went. I think it was like 70 degrees that morning, 68
in the morning. Yeah,
man, and when I got in the stand, I was shucking clothes. I wore a camouflage jacket, just boots and blue jeans. What I got on now, but. Man, I had to come out of all them jackets and stuff. Man, I had to put my orange vest back over it, but I was just sitting there in a T-shirt. It was so hot.
I'm going to tell you, that, and I learned that. I used, just like everybody else, we used to wear overalls or coveralls, some kind of insulated bib. I learned layers is the key. You got to wear something you can shed off because I don't care if you're walking in the stand, you get hot and sweaty. There's nothing worse
Yep.
going in with everything you got on and then sweating underneath it. You can't never get warm.
It can be 70 degrees and you sweat, you're finna get cold.
I always take a pack with me, and I'll put me an extra jacket or something in it, and something I can put back on. But I'm going to stay in layers where I can come out of something if I need to, if I'm hot, or I can put something on if I'm cold.
Well, if you got a long walk to the stand, you know, like Jamie, he carries his climbing stand the other day. You know, if you're going to take that climbing stand, you don't want to be all balled up in your big coat and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You make it walk, you're going to get hot, sweaty, and
Like old Randy can't put your arms down.
yeah, that's right.
I got to start training. No climbing stand. Kicked my tail the other day.
Shoot, it will me climbing now. Used to, man, I could shuck and drive right on one of them, not even check up. Man, I climbed mine, I guess, first weekend. Shoot, climbing that tree, I got out of breath, man. I done got out of shape.
Climbing don't bother me. It's to walk in. You figure
in. Oh,
20-pound climbing stand, a coat, a backpack. Yeah, you're loaded down.
Rifle or your bow.
What you wearing, Jamie?
Man, I got a pair of quilted Wrangler pants I bought from Buck and Bass. Probably, man, it's been 10, 15 years ago.
Shoot, it's been a long time.
Still got them, and that and uninsulated Carhartt bibs. That's my go-to.
You got a corduroy jacket or something. I see you wear it all the time, man.
That was from
so reliable.
Oak Tree Outdoors from Bart. Bart used to have that place, and I bought I can't remember what name brand. It's a bird hunting corduroy button-up shirt, and that thing blocked all the wind. That is my favorite shirt to wear hunting.
That's your lucky shirt.
Yeah.
I see you wear it all the time. That's gonna be part of your layering.
That's right. It works.
Well, do y'all have patterns that y'all stick by? Like if you're buying camo, I mean, 'cause, you know, we hunt box stands. Camo really don't matter. I mean, I guess it looks cool or whatever, but when you're hunting, hanging on the side of a tree, or you trying to hunt still on the ground, or you know, if you're stalking or whatever, camo is more of a thing. I guess duck hunting is more. You got to have some camo duck hunting.
I mean, I just got the brown Carhartt bibs, and I've killed just as many deer wearing that as I had head to toe camo.
Yeah, if I'm choosing a camo pattern, I mean, I prefer to wear like mossy oak camo.
I mean, Mississippi mossy oak.
That's
too.
right. One reason they're a Mississippi company, but they got great camo. Some of the best camo to me.
And the bottomland, that original bottomland is probably you see it on my shirt right here. That's probably my favorite pattern.
I'm had to lean toward mossy oak myself. It's I don't know, like Mike says, it's local to us, you know, and kind of one of them deals, you know, support something in Mississippi, and they look good. So
That's what me and Mark just got some duck hunting stuff with the new habitat.
That's good looking camo.
I really like that camo.
I don't think I got anything edited yet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got kind of a bottomland.
It's bottomland
background.
behind it, looks like, just like a lighter tan. And it's got shadow grass in front of it or whatever it's called.
Good.
You believe in scent block? Do you fool with it?
Yes, I mean, hunting the wind's a big thing. I mean, I used to, you know, put the fox pee on the boots when you walk in and try to keep your I've never done like clothes and certain detergents and all that stuff. I think more of that stuff's it's geared for the TV hunter. It's geared for maybe your bow hunters or something where you're right in the wind range. But I don't bow hunt much. Mine's mainly stand hunting, and I don't think it. As long as you play in the wind right, kind of got to. I ain't gonna go get in a stand if the wind's wrong.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna watch the way I go in too, to where hopefully the scent don't matter. But you know, I try to keep the windows shut as much as possible. But I'll put some covers. I got some of that scent away spray stuff.
I mean, I think the biggest thing is, like you say, walking in.
Yeah.
I mean, we're hunting the wind. We're not going. If it's a south wind and you're facing north, you know, not going to hunt that stand. I mean, it's too many unknown elements you can't control. I mean, you think about it. You clean your gun before season. It's got all that oil on it. There's no way to keep that gun from not smelling, you know?
That's right.
Same thing with, you know, your phone, you know, you're breathing. I'm taking coffee, and I'm sorry. I know they like some caramel macchiato in deer woods. So.
Bait in the field.
Yeah. Hey, that is a pretty good idea.
Man, I dip stuff and spit right there on the ground. The other day, this is a prime example, talking about scent. Wind was right for the stand me and Michael was hunting in. We went out to the box stand on the green field. I think it was day before y'all got down there. What was that, Thursday evening, I guess it was, or Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
Afternoon hunt. It was 75 degrees. Wind was, you know, wasn't much wind blowing, but it was out of our south, and I was in a good stand for that wind, especially the way we come in. We knew the deer were going to come in from the southwest. That's where we figured they would come. Sure enough, about 4:15, doe started hitting the field, and we had a doe beeline to the stand. And we'd been sitting there, and when the windows opened, mosquitoes was eating us alive. I'd done sent Michael back to get a bottle of Deep Woods Repel.
It smells.
The super deep. We sprayed down. We had to. I was swatting mosquitoes, didn't have a thermocell with me. And if that deer didn't come up right to the window, right on the north side where it should have smelled Repel all day long. This big red oak tree is still dropping some acorns around there. Man, that deer was crunching acorns like rock candy and never looked up. And I was out the window maybe 10 yards from this deer and not high off the ground. What are those stands, Jamie? Probably
8 foot to the bottom.
Yeah. They're not high. And I mean, I could have spit on the deer and it never, I mean, I know deer smell, and this was a younger doe. It was a yearling doe, but the mama doe was out there and they were all watching and they got pretty close too. They didn't smell nothing that day. It was just, I don't know if it's luck or what, but I just knew that as soon as that deer got on the right side of us on the north side that we were busted and they were going to clear the field. They stayed up. We ran them, get down the stand. They were still out there.
A bunch of people talk about the scent and rubber boots. I've always been told the deer couldn't smell rubber boots.
I've heard that.
Well, my dad's rabbit dogs, I promise you, will track you up wearing rubber boots. They can smell.
I can tell you if they're muck or lacrosse.
Just about. And they will follow you up. If I do use like detergent.
You wash your clothes in it?
Yeah, just because it's not the.
It don't smell like Gain or whatever. I can see that. I mean,
I don't think I don't think that stuff hurts, but I don't think any of it's like 100%.
If that deer's gonna smell you, that deer's gonna smell you.
That deer's nose. You're just not. But I mean, every little bit helps. But like the scent blocker stuff, I bought that high dollar stuff before just to like, stuff to bow hunt in or hot weather stuff. And what about your skin? I mean, you got your hands are uncovered, your face is uncovered. I mean, you can't.
You're not gonna be able to cover everything.
Cover everything unless you just spray something all in your face.
I mean, look at the crap we take in our backpacks. I mean, I ain't spraying my whole backpack down. I mean, I got Pop-Tarts, I got snack. I mean, you got so much other stuff you're bringing to the stand with you, or the only time
it's got to help a little, but I don't think
it ain't a guarantee.
You're not eliminating.
Being on the right side of the wind is way more important than covering anything up.
Definitely.
If you're out there on a windy day where the deer are approaching or the main travel corridor is downwind of you, you probably ain't gonna have much success.
Yeah, but spraying them boots down, that I think that does make a little bit of a difference.
Yeah.
Because I've walked in without it on before, and
deer come across the trail.
Walk across the trail and just
freeze up.
Yeah,
I got a video one this year that I walked in the first morning we hunted at Big Plot, and he was trucking. I mean, full on trot. He got to my exact footsteps. He threw the brakes on. He didn't run. He turned around, went the other way, but he stopped where I walked in.
He knew where something's been there though.
I mean, it's probably more critical with your big bucks, your older doe. That's the one's gonna bust you. Them young deer ain't gonna pay too much attention to it. They ain't learned yet, I guess. But you get old smart doe out there, that's the world's worst of busting you out because of smell.
Yeah. But you also got to consider where you're hunting at. Where we're at, it's farmers, it's farmland, it's pastures, and they're steady smelling human.
They're around equipment.
Houses.
Yeah. We're not out in the middle of nowhere.
Smell that bacon frying.
Yeah. Hey, that's the only time I've had one bust me this year is the day we done. Heck, I guess that was opening weekend. We done the fried deer steaks and we put them in the gravy, and I had that shirt on when I fried it in, and I could smell me out there. So I know for a fact them deer's like, man, that was Cousin Eddie over there.
What about
they done fried him up.
What about the day spill gas? Oh, gas
that was you.
Bubble back.
It never fails. You go hunting with Malcolm. He gets in the side by side. You cut the key on, the gas lights on. Man, go out there.
Get some gas.
Yeah, put some gas in the thing.
Setting you up.
And then I opened the gas jug, and the bottom is that metal one. The bottom buckled down, and it blew gas everywhere.
Mark smelled like that diesel truck. I mean, it did. You couldn't have put it on you no more.
I didn't see no deer that day.
Did you not see it? We hunted together that day. Yep, we did. We saw.
Yeah, we was in the stand. That's right. That was that morning. That was the first morning we hunted new land.
We had deer within 10 yards of us that day. They never looked at us. The bucks. How many bucks come across the field? They were young bucks.
Yeah.
They never looked at us.
Hey, maybe that's a new cover scent gasoline.
We could have we'd have lit on fire.
Octane.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, there's so many tractors and houses around there. They smell it all the time anyway.
That's normal right there.
Just put some gas on your boots.
You put some cover up scent. That's like, what's wrong with that?
I won't let the windows down on the stand.
That's gonna be.
Have y'all ever tried the homemade vanilla scent that people use for cover scent?
No.
Deer love it.
I've used the Buck Bomb vanilla, the Curiosity, whatever they call it.
They love it, man. They love it.
I have had them come up and smell the actual can and flick the can around their nose. I don't know if it brought that deer in, but
we used to mix it up in a spray bottle. It was like vanilla flavoring, water or whatever. I forget what the exact recipe was, but you sprayed down with it, and you can spray it going in. There's something about that vanilla. It's just curious.
Was it me and you
curious with it?
Sprayed that Khmer there out? That's exactly what it smelled like.
Yeah, it smelled just like vanilla.
They ate that plot down. It was gone.
Yeah, that was like a plot booster or whatever. Yeah, you wanted to mow it down, spray some of that.
Yeah, definitely.
It's gonna bring them to it.
So we talked about, Jamie said something about rubber boots. That's my feet are the one thing I cannot stand. My feet and ears, if they get cold, I'm done.
That'll get me.
I'm miserable
all day long.
I'm a muck boot guy just because they're light, they're comfortable. 99% of the time, my feet stay pretty warm in them. I don't feel like I used to wear lace-up boots. I can't stand bending over a lace-up boot up now. But I don't know. What's your favorite, Mikey? What you got?
Man, I usually wear snake boots year round, just about, unless it gets bad cold, and then I got a pair of insulated lace-up boots that I'll put on. I gotta have them wool socks on in there too with them.
That's where it starts with me. A good pair of socks.
Yeah. But you
gotta have socks that'll breathe. You get socks where your feet sweat in it, you're done.
That's my problem. My feet sweat no matter what I wear, and they stay cold.
I mean, sometimes a good pair of socks is
as good as a boot.
As good as a boot.
I've been buying those Browning wool socks.
They're not thick. They're still warm.
They're still warm. Yeah. But the best, I hunted in the mucks a lot. I've tried different ones. The best ones I got, the ones I've been hunting in because they're the most comfortable, is literally lacrosse. I used to couldn't get my ankle down in a pair of lacrosse boots, or if I did, it was so hard to get them off. But now they've got I forget which ones I bought, but it's a lacrosse with the big back with the gator on it, where you can let out the back. Man, they're the easiest boots to get on for a big guy. My pants will go down in them, even with thick socks, and my feet. It hadn't been freezing cold when we've had some 28-degree mornings, but my feet hadn't got cold once in these boots, and they got thinsulate in them. I don't think they're 1,000 grain or something like that. But that's been the boot I've been to, and I don't know if I'll change because I always liked the mucks because they were lightweight, they fit good walking in them or whatever. But these lacrosses fit just as good.
I got to get me a new pair now. Mine are wore out. I got to get a new pair this year.
Which ones did you buy? The Woody Max?
Yeah. I don't even buy the Max anymore. I just buy the regular
Ranger or whatever.
Yeah, the regular
Field Blazer or whatever it's called. The $129 one.
Yeah. It's the ones that got the old bust your butt grip on the bottom of them. They're just
Lord.
Yeah, they ain't got no grip, but they were good.
I've got a pair of hikers I like to wear that lace up like hiking style boot. They're not great for water. They say they're water, I guess, resistant.
Yeah.
It never fails. I wear a pair of them. I'm gonna step in a daggum small creek or something or mud hole. My foot's gonna get wet. So that's why I went to rubber, just so I don't get any water in them.
Yeah.
When y'all rabbit hunt, what boots do y'all wear?
I got some. I think they're Rocky name brand. Lace up with the side zip snake boots. That's the most comfortable boots ever.
Yeah, you got to have a pretty tough boot to rabbit hunting. Even regular rubber boots. Depending on the sawbriars.
Yeah, you might get 1 year out of them, maybe.
Yeah.
You put the miles on them too, though.
You wear muck boots, you better put your pants over the outside of them. It'll destroy them first rabbit hunt.
A place we hunted down in Philadelphia, Mississippi, with a ton of briars. No lie, my dad had a brand new pair of boots, and we hunted Friday, Saturday, and half a day Sunday, and threw them away. It just shredded.
Well, they weren't leather? Or?
No, they're just red.
Well, the upper part's like
neoprene
or something.
It just shredded.
It'll just eat it up.
But the leather lace-up snake boots, they're real comfortable.
Which, too, you got to think, we're pretty spoiled. We don't walk that far, so we ain't hiking in the stand or crossing a mountain ridge. And when we get to stand, we hit that igniter on that heater, and we're good to go.
That's our luxury. You talk about hunting equipment. That's the first thing that come to mind was what's a luxury item that you like to hunt with?
Oh, buddy heater.
I've done got spoiled on the buddy heater, man.
What'd you think about the little bitty one?
It works, man. There ain't no checking it back. His own. It'll run you out of the box stand.
I like it. Because you can pick it up and move it. You know?
Oh, it's a window easy. Defroster now. You can take it when the window's iced over in the morning, man. You pick that thing up by the handle, put it on all the windows. I had the stand dripping. Condensation coming off of it. It'll frost a bottle quick though.
Yeah, I don't know how long. Yeah,
we ran it for one bottle and it didn't run the whole, but brand new bottle. I know I had it on for probably 3 hours. And it still was about, the frost line was probably halfway up, so I'm assuming that's half the bottle.
Yeah.
But they run pretty good. And I like the buddy heaters because you can run the hose and the filter and put a big bottle on.
Yeah.
Yeah, 25-pound bottle on.
I wonder if they make any kind of adapter for that little one. to where you can hook it up to a bit. I
It'd
know
have to have its own rigged up stand because it uses the bottle to stand
As a stand.
on. Yeah, you'd have to rig up something where the
base.
hose would come. Yeah, a base to go to it. You might get zip tied up. I don't know if it.
That one finna burn stand
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, it don't play. It gets hot. Those things are a game changer. You want to sit in cold weather though in a box stand. I don't know. I mean, that ain't roughing it. at
No,
all.
it ain't. We ain't roughing it. I know that one time I hunted in a climbing stand. I was like, man, I didn't know how good it was. Like wind's blowing up, my feet are getting cold. I'm up in the middle of the tree's swaying. Which I still like hunting my climbing stand. I ain't, but I like hunting them on them 50-degree days.
Yeah.
not
That
the 30s.
Pops text me. It was night before last. He's like, "Man, you got a warm stand. Me and Gage can go hunt in the morning." I said, "Yes, sir, man. Go right ahead. I know you want to." He's probably been up there at Stanley's hanging on a tree.
That's where he's at this morning.
Is he? It wouldn't be too bad this morning. It wasn't too big a frost. You catch one of them cold mornings where it's below 30 degrees.
Yeah, it looked like it snowed yesterday.
Yeah, that was a good frost yesterday.
Well, you said so. What morning was that? Sunday morning, Mike. You went to climb that ladder stand.
Yeah.
With a 15-mile-an-hour north wind blowing. Man, I couldn't have done that.
Yeah, that was a tough morning there.
That's young days right there.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't so cold. It was just the wind. I mean, it was blasting in my face. I mean, when I got home that day, my cheeks were red, my face was red. I mean, I was wind chapped.
Did it get down and get a little drive going?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just to warm up.
Shoot, as cold as he keeps it up front to shop, I don't know how he was cold.
He's practicing.
My fingertips finna turn blue in here. No, the clothing and stuff, that's all great. It's one of them things that you gotta have it. You gotta have a decent product, keep you warm, keep you dry. But
I'm gonna have a pair of gloves. I'm gonna have something put on my head. I mean, that's just all.
I got pretty good size ears. They catch a lot of wind. It sucks when they get cold.
Gotta get you one of them headbands holding back.
I'm fleece. I like to when I'm deer hunting, fleece gloves and fleece cap. I mean, I guess you call it a full face with the gator and everything.
Yeah.
But you can pull it down, but to me, that's I've had to put it on one time this year in the stand, and we didn't have the heaters yet.
That's
It
something
snuck
that'll make
up
a
on
huge
us.
difference is that neck gator.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got a gator that'll tuck down in your shirt and stay up around your face, you can pull it up
Keeps
over
that
your face.
yeah. That's what
Man, it'll make a huge difference.
it does. A lot of the pullovers now are built-in gators where you can pull them up like that. But if you can keep you lose so much heat through your head, you don't realize it. You got to keep your head warm.
Yeah.
Your head and your feet, that's where it's at. Everything else you can manage, but
that is one of the worst pains I've ever experienced hunting is walking in the woods when I was a kid behind Daddy. And he had a Winchester 308 with a big butterbean sight on the end. And he'd be holding it like this, and it'd catch an old limb, and it'd come back and pop you in the tip of your nose or on your ear.
Yeah.
And,
cold. When it's cold.
eyes start watering. Nothing worse than cold ears.
Oh, I
though.
got my I swore Waylon put my eye out earlier this year. We were riding around the trail, then come around the pond. There's that one old limb once you cut back east west there, and he moved over to dodge a mud hole, and that limb caught it, and I wasn't watching, and that joker hit me square in the eye, knocked jelly clean all over him, and I was like, oh God. And he's like, "What's wrong?" And he knew him. I was hurt. I was hurt bad. I didn't want to look. I made him look. I said, "Is it bleeding? Is it still there?" And I couldn't see nothing.
Not
It
so
swole
contact
up. Oh man, it did. It did. I just knew I was gonna have a patch. Like it was it. We was gonna be glass eye right there. It was bad. That's one of the hardest pops I ever took in my eye off a limb.
Well, what we got next on our list is probably one of my favorites. It's something I'm almost addicted to, I'd say, and that's guns and optics. I probably got more deer rifles than I need for sure. You don't need but one, but I got several, and that's one of the things that I enjoy shooting. I enjoy kind of reading up on stuff like that, picking out a good caliber, trying something different, trying a new rifle. All that stuff is just I'm very passionate about. But that was the next thing is, what's your favorite gun? Why is it your favorite gun? When did you get your first deer rifle? Just any backstory. Because my brand new one ain't my most favorite for sure, But that's one of the things. I think everybody's rifle has a story, and it might be who gave you that rifle, or how'd you get that rifle, or who had that rifle before you, the hand-me-down. That's something. Everybody's gun has a story.
My first gun I ever hunted with, I remember, was a double-barrel 12-gauge, and I was probably 12 years old when I got to go with my uncle. They said, "Tote this gun." He put a buckshot on one side and had a slug on the other side. And that jerk, I toted that, didn't have a sling or nothing. That's the first gun I ever remember hunting with. And then I got to shoot it. They didn't even let me shoot it before going hunting.
No, because you wouldn't want to shoot it again.
Yeah, they let me shoot it after, and it put a thumping on you. But that was the first gun I remember hunting with. I don't recommend it for deer hunting, but you gotta go somewhere. If somebody's gonna let you go with them, you take whatever you can.
Well, I guess when I was a kid, the first gun was a 410 with the slug. I never shot a deer with it. That's just first gun.
Yeah,
It's probably the same one I started with, a little single shot.
Yeah, no sight on the end. It was just a straight barrel.
That was a 30-yarder.
Yeah.
You better off hunt with a bow.
What's your first deer gun that your first rifle y'all started toting?
I've talked lever action 30-30, and that's one gun I don't remember why or who even sold it to or swapped it to. I wish I'd have kept, but I didn't.
Yeah. I hate getting rid of them. I got rid of my first one that I actually got. What was your first rifle, Mikey?
First deer rifle was a lever action 35, and I actually, the first year I had it, I actually did kill a deer with it. Pretty far off. I had iron sights on it, didn't have no optics on it or nothing like that. And then a few years later, I bought bought a actual deer rifle of my own. That one was give to me, and heck, I think
I killed my first deer with that 35.
rifle. I still got it.
Kicked like a mule.
But that was the first one I ever had. It was a good rifle.
No,
it's still a good rifle.
Yeah, that's a good shooting gun. That's what I killed my first deer with. Right behind the house was that 35 Remington, and then I guess that same year, this will be my favorite gun. Probably was the first bolt action rifle I ever got. Brown and A bolt and a 260, and at the time, I guess that's when 708s were getting really popular. A lot of people had them back then, and that's what I wanted. Well, come time for Santa Claus to make his trip to, I guess, where'd y'all get that gun? Buck and Bass?
Bass Pro, I
Me and
think.
Daddy drove
Not Bass
everywhere.
Pro, Buck and Bass. That's where
We drove everywhere before we found that gun.
And no, y'all bought that one from Bart. It's where y'all got that from Oak Tree because you couldn't get a 708. There was no 708s nowhere out there. And I think y'all went to Bart, and he's like, man, he says 260's been a hot one. And sure enough, I'm glad we got a 260. That's been probably one of my favorite calibers.
Was ammo hard to find for it even back then?
Back then it wasn't, and then a couple years later it got pretty hard. And right now it's not terrible. It's no worse than anything else right now.
Yeah.
I got a pretty good stockpile. I ain't too worried about running out. But
Still have that gun?
yeah, that gun ain't going nowhere. It's I've killed first buck with that gun. I've killed, I don't know how many deer with it, but that's been my favorite. It's sweet shooting little gun, don't recoil, flat shooting, and will flat knock them on their tail.
We bird hunted with that gun one time.
Yeah, I shot what was that? A
Egret or something.
Yeah,
It was
like
on a duck,
catfish pond.
Yeah.
Is that a legal bird to kill?
Well, we
Catfish.
was that weekend.
No, he had permits to pull them. They had permits shooting birds off the catfish pond.
Yeah.
And we pulled up, and it was, I can't remember, it was 580 or 550 yards.
It was so far he
Really?
shot, and we're like, you missed, and then the bird just like blew up.
It was pure luck. I mean, he said, get out there and shoot at it. And I was 16, 17. I wasn't that old.
Me, you, and Strick Rogers.
I laid across the hood of his truck. He's like, just put it over his head. I did. I just guessed. Pow. I was
What scope do you have on there?
Leopold.
No, it was I don't know. It was either, when we bought the gun, Daddy, I think, put a Tasco on it. That's when everybody had a Tasco back
Everybody,
then.
started with.
And they might have a Burris on or something then, I think. It wasn't no high dollar scope or nothing, but sure enough, pulled the trigger. And like Jamie said, it seemed like a good second and a half. And I was like, man, all of a sudden you seen feathers. He's like, shoot the one next to it. I never hit that one.
Yeah.
It was pure luck on that first one.
My first rifle was an Alt 6. Remington
Jamomatic.
7400 Jamomatic. Man, I like that gun.
I got one.
It was but that was, I had a Simmons scope on it on 44. Magnification, it was a 3x9, I think, 44.
Yeah, I think so.
They
Three by-
call it a 44 Magnum or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a
Something
44
like that.
millimeter scope.
44 millimeter, that's what it was.
And heck, that was big back then.
Yeah,
that was a big scope.
It was. I toted that rifle for a long time, and I ended up getting rid of it. But then, because I wanted a 300, and I've been hunting with the 300 Win Mag ever since. I mean, that's been it's probably more than I need in Mississippi, but I feel like I can take that rifle. I can go anywhere with it, and deer don't run.
Yeah.
You shoot them in the shoulder with it. I like a high shoulder shot, and They don't go nowhere. I don't lose. I hadn't lost any with a. I've never lost a deer with a 300. I've lost plenty shooting that .6 with a 165 grain bullet.
And it all comes back down to, where you shoot them. And to me, like me and Brian were talking about the other day, is like, years ago, a 300 mag and a 700 mag was like destroy a deer. I mean, It was just brutal. And now bullet technology has come so far to where they know how to let that ammo or that ballistic or that bullet dump its energy, don't destroy the deer. Like that 28 Nosler, it ought to blew that deer in half. But the way they got bullets now, like it really don't, but it does its job,
I did more damage than I ever seen on one. It wrecked that deer. I don't know how he ran anywhere.
He didn't.
Yeah.
That one didn't take a step. But I don't know. I enjoy shooting. That's one thing that, like, I enjoy getting out there target practicing, and I like getting out there trying to, see how far you can shoot and stretch the limits of your ability, I guess. But, it all boils down to kind of what you enjoy around hunting, and it all kind of leads back to enjoying the hunting part of it.
When you're starting out, what do y'all recommend? Somebody getting into deer hunting or maybe buying one for a kid. What's the first caliber they need to be looking at?
Some probably depends on the kid and how old they are, but those smaller, lighter calibers, 243, 708, some of those, with lighter recoil where you're not scaring them to death. But the main thing is find a gun they're comfortable with.
Yeah.
That not all guns fit everybody the same. And if you've owned a lot of rifles, you know that over the years, one of them just don't feel right, and same way with shotguns or anything else. But when you finally find a gun that they're comfortable with, I mean, that's the main thing. You want that kid to be comfortable, or whoever's starting out hunting, they need to be comfortable with their rifle and they need to be confident in it too.
Yeah, 708, that's a good shooting gun.
Is that what you started?
That's what my daughter has. Mark 260, that's probably, in all honesty, recoil, that's probably the sweetest shooting gun I've ever shot. That gun shoots real well.
I'm going to put them on a 260. That's the original 6.5. It ain't no 6.5 need more. That ain't no but a copy of a 260. That drives me nuts. I can't stand a 6.5 Creedmoor.
That's what Michael said. I started him out on a 243 single shot, and that was what he, got comfortable shooting and went back to it. When I put him, I think more than anything, and I didn't start out this way, spending the off season on the bench, letting them shoot a gun, whether using managed loads or whatever, getting them comfortable with shooting that gun, it helps more than anything. But you got to get one that fits them. And that's why that youth model, that's what I started him out with. And even I know some adults that still hunt with a 243. It's just what they like to shoot. If you get to where you can consistently put your shot where you want it to go, it's plenty of bullet to take down a whitetail.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, I've seen a lot of, that argument about different calibers and stuff like that. I mean, if you match your bullets up to the gun that you're shooting, I mean, I've seen 243s knock a hole in a deer as big as any 30 caliber gun. And put them down, right there. But, it depends on the shells too, like Mark was talking about. They've come so far with,
what the bullet actually does.
Yeah,
now.
What it actually does, the different tips you get, lead you got in the end of them and stuff like that. I mean, you can just about shoot any gun and kill a deer with it now. I mean, but you do need to find something that you're comfortable with. I mean, not every gun shoots. That's like that 308 I got. I mean, there's shells out there I've shot with it that I will never shoot again.
Just don't like them, or didn't do enough damage?
It didn't do no damage. And I'm not going to call no names on them, but, I've shot them and didn't even know they were hit.
Yeah.
And then I turn around and buy another brand of bullet and shoot them and drop them in the tracks.
I've learned that too, I mean, you look at that 350 Legend I bought this year. That is not a big bullet, and that is not a big round. I mean, it's not that much to it, but the bullet, like when it hits a deer, you know it. I mean, it's no question, and that deer is most likely finna drop in his tracks.
Yeah. It's paired up well for the distance.
Yeah, 200 yards and in.
Yeah, it's good shooting.
And that's another one, something that's not loud, zero recoil. I mean, I would put that on the table, as far as an entry-level youth gun, something small, and you can get ammo for it right now.
And you shoot it on a AR platform.
Yeah, you can shoot on AR. They got bolt actions of it now. I mean, I think really it's, in my eyes and what I've read and, other people talk about it, it's the modern age 30-30 is what it is.
I mean, I think so. You hear 30-30s probably killed more deer than any other rounds, what the consensus is.
Yeah.
I think your other, like Mikey touched on, the 308, that's a dang good shooting. I own a 308. I like shooting it. Bullets are easy to find for it.
That's my favorite caliber, period.
30. You still hunt with a 308, right?
Yeah, I still do.
My dad's got, 4 now?
Yeah, he got a bunch of them.
Oh, daddy's got 308s.
I like the 30-30. I've got a 30-30 with a scope on it. It's a fun gun to shoot. I like the lever action. I still take it sometimes. Sometimes I like a rifle where it's more compact. It's easier to get in and out of a tight box stand or something, or if you're walking a long way, it don't weigh you down.
I shoot a 300 short mag, and I love the gun, love the caliber. Kind of like you said, I've not had a deer even run really with shooting with it, but 308 is gonna be my next gun.
That's what I was going to say. Is if budget was not an option, ammunition supplies were not an option. If you was going to build a gun today, right now, any gun you wanted, what would you build?
308.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd probably.
What would it be like? What brand? What bolt action?
I've got it. I don't have to build
You don't have to. What do you call her?
Lucy.
Oh, Lucy, huh?
You got to pry that one out of Will's hands. That's the problem.
So I want the AR look, but a bolt action, but I want 7 pounds. I want lightweight.
Tough to do.
Not unless you're gonna spend $3,000 or $4,000, but
Yeah. I've got a Tika. I've got a Remington. I don't have a Brownie. I like that. I like the one you shoot. That's a sweet gun. It's a Christensen, isn't it?
Christian Arms. That was the thing. Like,
That's an expensive gun to me.
I wanted to build a big caliber light, and it's hard to do. I mean, you start getting in a long action gun, you start getting into heavier barrel. Now that one does have a carbon fiber barrel, so that gun naked is like 6 pounds, and it will kick you like a mule. But the time you put a scope on it, I mean, you don't realize how heavy a scope is.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds in a scope.
I'll say this right there. The scope is way more important than the rifle to me.
Definitely.
I mean, whatever I'm going to spend on a rifle, I'm going to spend at least that much, maybe more on the optic going on it.
90% of the time, that's kind of I say a good rule. Now, again, it's just like ammo. Man, these scopes come so far. I mean, Leupold's out there. I mean, they got some excellent glass. And Jamie made this point, and I've never really paid attention to it till this year, is Leupold's only scope I've ever looked through where the eye relief, the window on it's so big. You can be right up on it or you can be a foot behind it, and you still got a full frame of view.
oh, this 0708 I had, I don't care who it was, you could throw it on your shoulder, and I promise you, full field of view every time.
Yeah.
That's what's on my rifles. That Very X2, man. It's been
I had
on there for
VX3.
20-something years.
The first 300 I bought, I put the 3 came out. That's what went on there. Since I've stepped up. I mean, I've owned Vortex. I've owned Burris on a 300. I've got a Night Force on a 308. It's probably the most I've spent for a scope, and I like it. But for the money now, those Vortexes are.
Vortex,
they're good.
It's a good scope. It's good glass.
I bought that on my 28s at Athlon, and I never heard of that brand of scope and got doing research, and I was like, hey, we're going to try it. I mean, it was well over $1,000 for that scope, and I like it. It's a little heavy for a scope, but it's a big scope. I mean, it's a 34 millimeter tube, 50 more millimeter objective, but it's set up on that gun where if I want to shoot 500 yards, I turn it to 5 and send it. It should be on, and it's one of the ones that it's probably overkill for what we do, but I enjoy it.
Yeah. Staying on the optics, I think my binoculars are just as important as the scope on my gun too, because I've learned that being able to look at the deer and
you're not rushed.
You can see earlier in the morning before, if you get it, I like to get in the stand before shooting time. I can still go ahead and see my binoculars, see what's coming. I can stay later in the stand with a pair of binoculars. I can get a better look at a buck, count his points, judge them a little better. It's saved me from shooting young deer when we've been hunting doe.
Yeah, what was that you was talking about that time, Jamie? Who told you that about
Darren,
wearing the binoculars,
best
looking
friend
at them
Darren,
first?
he hunts on a hunting club. They got several rules to go by, and they shoot big deer. And he said, "Man, that's the main thing: is a pair of binoculars or some type of optics beside your scope. That scope puts you in kill mode.
Yep.
You look at it and get the crosshairs.
Yeah, you're ready to shoot.
Before you know it, you done pushed that safety up.
Yeah, I've been toting Vortex binoculars. They're not the most expensive, but I like them.
They're good.
Yeah, it's a good glass.
It is.
I like that rangefinder.
Lightweight. Yeah, the rangefinder. Yeah.
The Vortex binoculars, what you have too.
Yeah, well, Malcom bought his, and we buy them the same day. I know I bought mine.
They're pretty close. Yeah, mine came from Academy. I just had them shipped to the house. They're $159 pair of binoculars, something like that. And they've got Oh, we ain't supposed to talk prices.
They on sale for $29.99.
I mean, I bought 2 pair. I got one because something happened to my hunting bag, Michael's hunting bags. We lost what binoculars and rangefinder, everything I had like that, and so I needed another pair. Or I bought 1 pair of the higher end Vortex binoculars, and I bought 1 pair of the ones that were about $129, and they're both. I mean, I like both of them. They're both good binoculars for what we do. And we're not out scouting mountain ranges or anything like that, but for where we're hunting in Mississippi, they work great. And the low light capability of them is super clear. That's what I like. Lets me see. I ain't got good eyes anymore. I'm old. I got to have something. But I ain't usually going. It's very rare. It used to be back in the day, man. I grab my rifle and just go to the stand. Yeah. Now I'm taking a pack, and it's got my binoculars, got a rangefinder in it. It's got important stuff that I need when I'm hunting.
Snacks, coffee.
That's easy. I mean, you grab the bag and go. You ain't got to pack everything in your pocket.
That's it.
That was my biggest thing when I was a kid is like I didn't take a backpack. But by God, I had me a parka, had a bunch of pockets, and every pocket had something in it, you know. That jacket weighed 50 pounds, you know. But,
I mean, talk about how much a jacket weighs. Malcolm grabbed a hook to mine the other day.
Ooh, man, that's a lead vest. No, what he had in there? Rocks.
Yeah.
He just
a couple bricks.
I throw bricks.
He's trying to get his breathing up where he can doing some training with that jacket. That's what a training jacket.
So after it's all said and done, we stayed warm in the stand. We hunted all day. We shot them with our rifle. We got to do something with this deer. And,
processing time.
Yeah, the work begins, but you know we've come up with a pretty good technique that kind of takes a lot of the time off that and speeds it up. But you know, I mean, what do we got to start? Like I know it's limitless what you can do with processing. I mean, you can buy a full on butcher shop if you wanted to.
You got a knife, man. First thing, you got a decent knife.
I mean, a lot of people ask, you know, especially people getting started out hunting, you know, what do I got to have to process my own deer?
Yeah.
And really, I mean, a knife's really it. I mean, you don't have to go fancy and have some of the stuff, but it does make it easier.
Yeah.
Depends on what you want to do too. You know, if you want to grind it or make jerky or, you know, again, the options are endless. But kind of what we start out with other than a knife?
Man, the first thing I got was my own grinder so I could make sausage. And started out with one of the KitchenAid attachments until Shell got tired of me doing it in the kitchen. So I got one of those. Is it LEM, whatever you want to call it? They got a big bite grinder. They got different models, and you start out with the small one if you want.
Heck, they got a 50 horse if you want it.
Yeah, just get you a mid-size one. That's going to process you 2 or 3 deer and not run the motor up. That's one. I mean, I like a vacuum sealer, and the food saver ones work great. You can get bags from them at Walmart. Don't matter. I mean, that's something you need to put your deer up. I like it. I like vacuum sealing better than I like wrapping in butcher paper.
Yeah, definitely.
You got the processor. Usually everything's all butcher paper wrapped up. It never fails, and stuff gets freezer burnt.
And it don't take long.
Yeah, it don't take long. I like a vacuum sealer. I mean, whatever else is. I mean, it's kind of up to you what you want. If you want a stuffer, if you want a saw, if you want a tenderizer. I like tenderized steak, so I like that tenderizer attachment that goes on the grinder.
I got to put it through the ringer this weekend, maybe.
Yeah.
What did we start out with? We had an old hand crank grinder at your daddy's, and
he
still got that tenderizer, doesn't he?
He still got the hand crank tenderizer. That's a high dollar tenderizer, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it costs what an electric one does.
I got a sausage stuffer. That's, for making case sausage.
I mean, I guess when we started out, we had one of the biggest things is, after you kill the deer, back then it was always, I guess, like a theory that Daddy and all the old timers had is, put it on ice, let it soak. And that's the worst thing we could ever do to deer. I mean, we didn't know it at the time, but we had an old junk refrigerator that would just stay cold, and we could put it on the racks, kind of let them age a little bit. And then just a good butcher knife, a good carving knife. And, we'd bag everything up, debone it. At the time, we didn't grind anything, but, Daddy'd tenderize it, vacuum seal it, and we were done. But, I mean, if you're going to process it out, you definitely need a good meat saw or a good hatchet. I mean, Daddy broke the deer down with a hatchet. And I ain't going to say that's the cleanest, most appetizing way to do it, but it got the job done.
I like Outdoor Edge products. I got Outdoor Edge skinning knife. It's got the flip blade on it to where, it's kind of to get up under the hide. You don't cut a gut or anything. It helps you get the skin off, and then it's just like a fixed straight blade.
They got that pack that's got pretty much
a
good entry level.
It's got a little saw in it to break that hip bone when you're taking hindquarters off. I mean, you can take the legs off with it easy. I mean, I've seen plenty of old timers do them with just a case pocket knife.
Yeah.
You know,
Most of the time, that's what we were using out
Yeah.
in the shop when we were breaking down deer. Just whatever pocket.
important
knife
thing is something to keep them sharp.
Yeah.
We're always sharpening knives, and I mean, you turned me on to the croc sticks, and I'm not a knife sharpener by any means, but those croc sticks, you can't hardly mess one up, and it's
It'll put an edge on
what
one.
was it, $25 for the little block and the two different rods.
That's
You got a steel rod and a ceramic rod in them, and it put you keep an edge on them, so you can keep that knife sharp. I mean, it'll take you forever with a dull knife. You can end up, that's where
can hurt
accident's
yourself.
going to happen. But
That's
you
the
got a
worst
sharp
thing.
knife, yeah.
Trying to clean one or process one.
What knife
dull
do y'all?
knife.
What do you carry, Jamie?
Carry, I have a Browning knife that's two blade, pocket knife. It's got a regular knife with a gut hook, and then it's got like a saw / boning blade. I like it because, like I say, climbing stand, it'll saw a limb down like a bow saw pretty quick. But, as far as dressing a deer, I done got spoiled, and the Haviland or the Outdoor Edge, anything with interchangeable blades where you're not steady sharpening.
You can put that scalpel like bright black.
agree.
I do like those. They're good.
I'm not a knife sharpener. I hate sharpening knives. And that's the
It's
simple-
convenient. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Haviland knife is. Gage bought me one last year for Christmas, and I
Oh, you
cleaned the
definitely
deer
gotta
with
be
it.
careful.
Man, it was.
Yeah,
You better be careful.
sharp.
Yes, you better not.
It'll
slip
scare
it.
the hide off one.
But,
for
yeah.
sure.
It will. But I mean, it made it that thing having that. I mean, it's like a razor blade. So
Yeah.
I mean, the hide comes off so easy. I mean, it's easy to break them down.
For processing,
Processing them, a 6-inch boning knife.
that's it.
Yeah, I agree.
That's all you need. A
You can
good
get one of them,
6-inch
$20.
stiff boning knife, and you can keep the Victorinox or what's the other brand? Dexter Russell.
How to Barbecue
Yeah,
Rice got a pretty good one.
Heck yeah, they do. Those Dexter Russell ones, those are. I mean, for processing, we use them in the barbecue world, but for cutting up deer meat, that's what you need.
As long as you hit that,
They're not expensive.
hit that crock sticks a couple times,
Yeah,
and you're
you keep them sharp. I
keep an
mean, I don't
edge
throw
on
any of them in the dishwasher. We hand wash all of them.
Yep.
But that's what's at the skin. That's what's at the skin shed.
All this stuff ain't got to have it, but it sure makes your life
Oh
easier.
heck yeah! I mean, now you need some kind of a gambrel and to hang them up on. You need a winch of some sort or some way to pull them up. We rigged up. What was it, Jamie? Just a Harbor Freight.
again, we're getting spoiled. Yeah, we
Yeah.
got electric winch we mounted in the
Yeah,
on the shop.
but I mean, it makes a difference, pulling them up.
Does.
Even once you catch your guts and bones in. I mean,
Yeah.
you need a good tub to
You got to have something.
dispose
You got to
of
be able to
them.
know
Yeah.
somewhere to do with it. You know.
That's right. That's right. All that's a necessity. The rest of it's just luxury. you get you a sharp knife and the way to hang them up, you're good to go.
Well, that's about it for today. We about done ran out of
We
time.
didn't even talk about the
We
recipes.
didn't make it to the
man.
end.
We didn't make it to our recipes. Mikey made a killer pot of white beans and ham, and then to top it off, a big old pone of jalapeno and cheese cornbread to go with it. That's what got us through last weekend. A pot of
I
beans.
don't know if it got us through. It got something through us.
Oh, they were,
Man,
they
ain't
were
nothing
good
wrong with some
till the
beans, man.
Till the next day or middle of the night.
That's what makes it interesting.
I know I got up about 1 o'clock Saturday night, and it sounded like it was bucks grunting everywhere in that cabin.
What'd you do to the beans, Mikey? So let's hear before we wrap up today the white beans and ham recipe.
All right, so we just started out with the dried beans, like you buy. It doesn't matter what kind, just white beans. So we sauteed onions, cut up a whole onion, sauteed it, and bought these. It was ham trimmings off of a ham bone that they sell in little packs, kind of like bacon ends and pieces and stuff like that. But anyways, I throw that in there and sauteed that with the onions, and put a little garlic in there, filled it up with chicken stock, and then poured the beans in, seasoned it up the way you like them. Salt,
Rinse and
pepper.
pick the beans.
Yeah, we rinsed, picked the beans, and poured them in the pot, and let them go on a high boil for just a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then reduce them down, put the lid on them, let them roll for, what'd they go, about 2.5 hours?
Yeah, it's about 2.5 hours. Cook them down.
Go to the deer
Right.
stand. When you get back, they're done.
Right. About I don't know. It's probably 30, 40 minutes in. Pulled out probably a good cup and a half of the beans out of the pot. Pick the ham out of it, mash them up in a bowl, put them back in the pot. That's the trick to
Makes
getting
like a
those
roux.
creamy
Yeah,
pot of beans. Otherwise, you're just eating bean soup.
yep.
But once you cream some of them beans and add them up, it changes the whole game. So you got your meat in there from your ham. You got your beans. You got the good creamy gravy that they're sitting
Oh,
in.
Jamie's over here just loving this.
Vegetables
Oh,
cooked
y'all
down.
learned.
He's
good
glad he
ham
didn't
is what
come.
y'all
I
did.
did learn something. Now I've always we've always buttered cornbread. You know, you get your big bowl of beans, you take the cornbread, slice it in half, put you some softened butter in there.
Mayonnaise, baby.
Mikey put us on the mayonnaise on cornbread, and don't knock it till you try it. You got to have some good blue plate mayonnaise, but you split that cornbread and you put you some mayonnaise on it and eat it with them beans. It's a game changer. I never would have thought it. But I had it last weekend at deer camp, and that's a recipe to go in the cookbook right there. The deer camp cookbook will have the beans and the jalapeno and cheese cornbread with the mayonnaise on the side. Only thing it may have been missing was some sliced sweet Vidalia onion to go with it. That's the only thing I can think of we didn't have.
Maybe a boiled egg or two would have been good with it.
Boiled egg.
We're going to load the gun in.
I'm glad I missed that meal.
Well, hey, Mark, is that it for
That's
today?
it, man.
That's all we got.
We'll get ready for Santa and try to get back out in the woods pretty quick.
That's right. We still got plenty of weeks left of deer hunting here in Mississippi, and we're going to share all of our stories with y'all this year. And, you know, hopefully y'all find it entertaining. And if you like what we're doing, you can jump on and flag that podcast on all your platforms, and it'll load it to your player where you can get all these new episodes. And y'all check us out on social media too. We've got a Facebook page up, and we got other things we're going to be working on, Instagram, stuff like that. So y'all can follow along with this Buck Junkies. And if y'all have any questions or anything, send us some messages. We'll be glad to talk about some of these topics on this podcast. And that's it, fellas. Y'all ready to get out of here and get back to the woods?
Let's go.
We gone. See y'all next time.
See you.